Nearly every man misses something essential, even though it plays a far bigger role than he assumes. Interestingly, it's something women genuinely value, yet rarely speak about directly. Think about it. You've likely seen men who appear to have everything in place: attractive, confident, financially stable, and yet, despite all of that, they struggle to build deep, meaningful connections with women. Something just doesn't align, and they can't quite understand why. The reality is, attraction isn't built solely on looks, money, or status. What many men overlook are the quiet, subtle behaviors that leave a lasting impact. These aren't flashy or obvious actions. They're understated, powerful, and often invisible, but they shape how a woman truly experiences you. In this video, I'm going to uncover some of those unspoken desires women feel but rarely articulate. These aren't the usual dating tips repeated everywhere. They're grounded in psychology and timeless human behavior. And when you truly understand them, they can completely change how women perceive you. Now, imagine this for a moment. What if you could connect with a woman on a level she doesn't even fully understand herself? What if you could stand out effortlessly without chasing, over explaining, or trying to prove your worth, simply by making her feel safe, valued, and emotionally understood? That alone would put you ahead of most men. Here's the uncomfortable truth: if you're unaware of these deeper dynamics, you're already at a disadvantage. You might lose attraction that could have grown into something meaningful. You might miss a connection that could have stayed in her mind long after you were gone. That's why this matters. And once these ideas truly click, especially the final one, your entire perspective on attraction and relationships will shift. If you're honest with yourself, you may already recognize this pattern. Maybe you've had moments where everything seemed perfect on the surface. The conversation flowed, there was laughter, mutual interest was there, and yet somehow it faded away. No clear mistake, no dramatic ending, just a slow loss of interest that left you confused. And often, the hardest part isn't rejection. It's not knowing what went wrong. That uncertainty lingers. It makes you question yourself. It leaves you wondering if you're missing something others seem to understand. This is where things begin to change. The answer isn't becoming someone else. It's not memorizing lines or trying harder to impress. It's understanding the emotional experience you create. That's where real connection lives. As you listen, reflect on your own experiences. Think about the moments that worked and the ones that didn't. What was she feeling in those moments? Did she feel at ease, safe, and understood? Or was there a subtle tension that created distance? This awareness is where everything starts to shift. And if you stay with me, what you're about to understand won't just improve your dating life, it will transform how you connect with women on a deeper level. Before we go further, consider this. When was the last time someone made you feel completely comfortable? Like you didn't have to perform, impress, or prove anything, just be yourself. That feeling is rare, and when it happens, it stays with you. Now imagine being the person who creates that feeling for someone else, someone she associates with calm, safety, and emotional clarity. That's the shift we're talking about. If you're serious about becoming that man, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share in the comments what you struggle with most when it comes to connection. Not for the algorithm, but to create a space where we can grow and understand these dynamics together. I'm Emily Carter, host of the Female Game YouTube channel. What I'm about to share isn't complicated, but it does require a different kind of awareness. It's not about doing more, it's about noticing more, feeling more, understanding the subtle emotional language beneath every interaction. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It changes how you enter a room, how you listen, and how women respond to you without forcing anything. Let's start with something most men underestimate: the quiet influence of touch before intimacy. Picture this: you're on a date, the vibe feels right, conversation flows easily, there's laughter, eye contact, shared moments. On the surface, everything seems perfect, but something feels slightly off. She's present, but not fully open. There's a subtle distance you can't explain. Later, you drop her off, maybe send a message, and then nothing. Silence. and you're left replaying the entire evening, trying to figure out what went wrong. This is where many men lose momentum because they believe attraction is built through words alone. They focus on being interesting, funny, saying the right things, and while that matters, it's not what creates connection. Women don't connect only through conversation. They connect through how they feel in your presence, the emotional environment you create, the subtle signals that tell them whether they can relax or need to stay guarded. One of the most overlooked ways to shape that feeling is through calm, intentional touch. Not forced, not calculated, not about pushing boundaries, just natural, respectful moments that align with the energy between you. A light touch on her arm during a shared laugh, a gentle hand on her shoulder as you guide her, a hug that feels grounded and genuine. These moments are small, almost invisible, but emotionally powerful. A man once shared this with me. He said his dates always seemed perfect, yet nothing progressed. Then one day, he stopped trying to impress and focused on being present. He allowed silence. He stopped filling every gap with words. And during one moment, as she laughed, he briefly touched her hand, naturally, without intention. Everything changed. She leaned in more. Her tone softened. The conversation deepened without effort. Words create interaction. Feeling creates connection. And touch, when used with awareness, amplifies that feeling in a way words cannot. For the first time, he felt she was truly connecting with him, not just talking. This is the difference between interaction and connection. For many women, emotional safety matters more than physical attraction. It's not just about how you look or what you say, it's about how she feels around you. Does she feel relaxed or tense, accepted or evaluated, at ease or under pressure? These questions are constantly being answered, often subconsciously. And here's where many men go wrong: they rush. Not always physically, but energetically. They push things forward too quickly out of fear of losing the moment. But pressure breaks emotional safety. Real attraction grows in the absence of pressure. It builds through space, patience, and a sense that nothing is being forced. Ask yourself honestly, are you truly present on a date? Or are you focused on what to say next, how to impress, how to move things forward? She can feel that tension even if your words are perfect. But when you slow down, when your presence becomes calm and intentional, something shifts. She relaxes. Her guard lowers. Connection forms naturally. Another layer is awareness of her responses. If she leans in, maintains eye contact, opens her body language, those are signs of comfort. If she pulls back, becomes quieter, creates distance, those are signals too. The key isn't reacting defensively or trying to fix it. It's respecting it, adjusting, giving space when needed. That's how trust is built, not through grand gestures, but through consistency and attention to how she feels. Have you ever met someone and felt instantly comfortable around them without knowing why? That's emotional presence. Someone grounded, not trying to take anything, just being. That presence is deeply attractive. Restraint also matters. In a world of impulsive behavior, the ability to slow down stands out. Not rushing, not overstepping, not forcing progression. It communicates confidence, quietly and powerfully. As you understand this, you'll notice something. You don't need to do more. You need to do less. Less forcing, more allowing. Less talking, more listening. Less rushing, more presence. And in that space, connection stops feeling like effort and starts unfolding naturally. Now, here's where it goes deeper. Attraction doesn't end when the interaction ends. In many ways, that's where it begins to deepen. Long after you say goodbye, something remains: a feeling, an emotional imprint of how she experienced you. She may forget your exact words, but she will remember how you made her feel. That feeling determines whether she thinks about you again or fades you out completely. Most men focus on saying the perfect thing, sending the perfect message, while overlooking the emotional impact they leave behind. Attraction isn't a performance, it's an experience, and experiences are remembered through emotion. Instead of rushing to maintain momentum after a date, allow space. Let the experience settle. Trust what you created. This isn't about playing games, it's about respecting emotional rhythm. When the experience is strong, you don't need constant reminders. She already feels it. This is emotional imprinting. Every interaction leaves a trace. If it felt pressured or off, it creates uncertainty. If it felt calm and genuine, it creates curiosity. And curiosity is powerful. When everything is obvious, there's nothing left to explore. But when there's depth, something she can't fully define, it keeps her engaged. This is why pacing matters, not just physically, but emotionally. Reveal yourself gradually. Let the connection unfold. If someone shares everything too quickly, it becomes overwhelming. There's no space for discovery, and without discovery, attraction loses depth. Let the connection feel like a journey, not a transaction. Add emotional contrast, light moments mixed with depth, silence mixed with laughter. The most memorable conversations have rhythm. Allow genuine moments, ask deeper questions, share authentically, not to impress, but to connect. And don't rush to fill silence. Sometimes that's where the strongest connection forms. Here's something practical. Focus less on what to say next and more on what she's feeling. Notice her tone, expressions, pauses. When she shares something meaningful, stay with it. Let her expand. That shift alone changes everything. Another practice: slow down your responses naturally, not strategically, but intentionally. This communicates calmness and clarity, and that presence is rare. Now let's address a common struggle: the fear of losing her interest. This fear leads to overtexting, over-explaining, and seeking constant reassurance. But that often creates the opposite effect. Real connection doesn't need constant validation, it needs stability. When you're grounded, your presence feels secure, and that allows her to relax. Think about the people you feel most comfortable with. They're not trying to impress, they're simply themselves. The same applies here. As you integrate this, you'll notice less pressure, less overthinking, less need to control outcomes. And in that space, something powerful emerges: authentic connection. Finally, the deepest layer: your internal state. A woman doesn't just hear you, she feels you. Your confidence, your self worth, your emotional stability, all of it is communicated without words. Two men can say the same things, yet feel completely different. One is anxious, seeking approval, the other is calm, present, enjoying the moment. The difference is felt instantly. This is emotional congruence, alignment between who you are and how you show up. When there's alignment, it feels authentic. When there's not, something feels off. That's why inner work matters more than strategy. So ask yourself, when you're with a woman, is your focus on connection or on being chosen? Because that changes everything. When you seek validation, you lose your natural rhythm. But when you focus on connection, you become grounded and real. That's where attraction begins. As you develop this awareness, attraction stops being something you chase and becomes something you create naturally. And here's the truth most people never talk about. When you operate this way, rejection loses its weight. You're no longer trying to be liked by everyone. You're simply showing up as yourself. Some connections will form, some won't, and that's okay. Imagine approaching interactions without pressure, listening without trying to impress, allowing moments to unfold. How different would that feel? And how different would she feel around you? Before we close, reflect on this. Next time you interact with a woman, don't ask, how can I impress her? Ask, how can I make this moment feel genuine, calm, and real for both of us? That single shift changes everything. If this resonated with you, like the video, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. And in the comments, answer honestly, what is one behavior you'll change after this? Because awareness without action changes nothing. But awareness with action can transform everything. Remember, attraction isn't something you force, it's something you allow. It grows through presence, emotional safety, and authenticity. And when you truly understand that, you stop chasing connection and start creating it naturally.